So we've told you all about the dance of democracy in India. We now move to China, where on this very day, all hopes of democracy were crushed. It is the 35th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square Massacre. 35 years ago, on this very day, China declared a war on its own people. The battleground was Beijing's Tiananmen Square.
On the 4th of June 1989, Chinese tanks rolled into Tiananmen Square before dawn. There was gunfire. By the next morning, the Tiananmen Square was mostly empty. For weeks, protesters had flooded the square. The story began on the 15th of April 1989. Leading reformer and former Communist Party chief Hu Yaobang had died. Chinese students poured into the Tiananmen Square to mourn Hu's death. Soon, the mourners began demanding reforms. They wanted democracy. They wanted liberty. On the 13th of May, they began a hunger strike. 5 days later, students began to faint. On the 19th of May, Communist Party chief Zhao Ziyang visited Tiananmen Square. He urged the students to disperse from the square. They did not. On the 30th of May, students unveiled a 33-feet statue of the goddess of democracy. 3 days later, everything changed. At 9:50 p.m. on the 3rd of June, authorities asked people to stay away from Tiananmen Square. Soon, the lights went off. Tanks started rolling in and troops marched in. Chinese troops fired at unarmed students. There's no way of knowing how many students and workers were massacred that night. China never gave a number. Rights groups and witnesses say the number could run into the thousands. Along with these students died the hopes of democracy. A day after the massacre, a man in a white shirt stood in front of a column of tanks at the Tiananmen Square, taking on the tanks single-handedly. How much has changed between 1989 and now? Not much, believes Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong. She said her country remains concerned about China's ongoing restriction on human rights. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson was asked about Wong's comments. She said Beijing opposes anyone using the Tiananmen Square massacre as a pretext to smear China.
The Chinese government has long since reached a clear conclusion on the political turmoil that occurred in the late 1980s. We have constantly opposed anyone using this as a pretext to attack or smear China and to interfere in its internal affairs.
The 4th of June remains a taboo topic in China. Today, security is tight in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. There are multiple police checks. The official website of the Tiananmen Tower that overlooks the square posted a notice saying it would be closed on June 4th. It said those who bought tickets could get them refunded. Beijing's subway network announced that an exit to the Tiananmen East station would be closed from the 2nd of June to the 5th of June. In Hong Kong, security has been tightened around Victoria Park. This is where candlelight vigils would be held every year on the 4th of June. Things changed in 2020. Beijing slapped the national security laws on Hong Kong. Since then, the protests have disappeared. Since last year, pro-Beijing groups have been setting up a patriotic carnival in Victoria Park on the 4th of June. In the last 35 years, China has done all it can to remove the Tiananmen Square massacre from the pages of Chinese history. But has it been successful?
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.